Nice weather means more time outside, and we know just the place for the entire family.
In today's Dakota Zoo News, Natalie is reporting live from the Dakota Zoo. Hey Natalie, how's it going?
Hey, it is a beautiful day to be at the Dakota Zoo and learn about some of the great things that they do. I have Shannon Dixon joining me. She's a senior zookeeper. And Shannon, today we're focusing in on your Raptor Rehabilitation program. So why don't you tell me a little bit about what that is and, what it entails?
So we are actually the only licensed Raptor rehabilitation facility in North Dakota. And so basically that just means if there is a bird that you see injured, maybe on the side of the road, out on your land, things like that, we can take them in. We're licensed to do that and basically just give them a good health check periodically. We like to exercise them, make sure that they're ready to be released and that they're eating well, basically just how they're interacting just in general in their daily lives, and then we can release them. And so that is something that's really unique to us. It is kind of a difficult process, and the thing to start it off right is just for us to only be taking in birds that really need to be taken in. So having that be a bird that is actually injured, you really see the wing injury, you can actually see it's not flying, you can see that it's only stayed in one spot, maybe. Things like that are going to be good indicators that it actually needs to be brought in to rehab. It's often the case that we get birds that don't really need to be brought in, and that's because a lot of people don't know what they're looking for. Oftentimes birds don't just go from the nest to flying. They usually try to test out their wings. Their parents keep an eye on them, but they'll be on the ground for a little while, just for a few days. Their parents are usually in the area, keeping track of them and feeding them if they need to. And a lot of people see those kind of like sad little birds and think that they need to help and take them. But that is actually kind of taking what would be a wild bird, doing everything it needs to be doing in human care. And that's something we really don't want to do if we can help it at all. And so a lot of times if you see a bird like that, if you think that it's something that might need help, just calling us and really letting us know what's going on, giving us a rundown of the behavior for the day if you can. I know we all have lives, but if you're willing to help, it'll help them even more to not be taken in if they don't have to be.
What kind of birds do you usually get calls about or have to take in?
So the title Raptor is basically anything that is a carnivorous bird. So things like peregrine falcons we've even gotten before, hawks, eagles. If there's a bird who cannot be released because maybe they have vision problems or like a really bad wing break, they can't fly, that's how we have all of our exhibit birds, is that the alternative is that they get euthanized because they cannot live out in the wild. And so that is how we have our birds. That's how we had Goldie for a really long time. A lot of people really loved Goldie Bird. We all love Goldie Bird too, but she was a really good advocate and ambassador for the program, letting people know what we do here. And so things like that, but also owls we've gotten before. If you find other birds, we're happy to call U.S. Fish and Wildlife to try and help you out. We just can't take in anything that's not a raptor.
What's your best advice? You had mentioned maybe just give us a call first, but what are some other tips that you might have for our viewers if they do come across a bird out in the wild that they think may need help?
Yeah, so we try and encourage people to stay away if at all possible, but if you see a bird staying in one spot for a really long time, the only way you'll be able to know how it's doing is to approach it. And so a lot of times I would rather people go with like a towel or something in front of them because you never know what wild birds can do, especially if they're not feeling well. They might just retaliate even more. And so just kind of approaching it and seeing how it moves, that it can move. If at all possible, a small shallow water dish just near them can really help them, because a lot of times if they aren't able to move around, get around, that's the first thing they'll need is hydration. So if you can kind of get any of that stuff done and just contact us, and really we will try and take it from there, but we do have to have the birds get to us. That's also a kind of a factor, is we need to follow the right steps, and oftentimes we can't go pick them up. So We definitely talk to people about how that process goes, getting the birds to us, but a lot of it's just kind of keeping an eye out, watching what's actually happening, and doing the least that you can do to interfere with them.
Yeah, and then you had also mentioned that when they come here, you try to stay away. You obviously rehabilitate them, but you try to stay away because the more human contact that they have, that's probably worse out for them, especially when trying to reintroduce them to wildlife. So great job on that. Shannon, thank you for all the information, but for now we're going to send it back to Amber and Jeff.
Thank you, Natalie. Great job, guys. And we do want to let you know at home that the Dakota Zoo is open with its summer hours. They're open daily from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., weather permitting.
For zoo updates, be sure to check them out online or on social media, and that information is right there on your screen.
This has been Dakota Zoo News, brought to you by Dakota Zoo.
All right.